If your woman leaves you, the first thing you want to do is you want to chase after her. You want to fix the relationship. You want to have a communication with her. You want to say, hey, how did we get to this place? Like, what's going on here? Do you want some sort of closure? Like, okay, you don't love me anymore, but how did you get here? Like, tell me what happened. Like, what did I miss? Can you show me what I missed so that if I can't fix it with you, I at least know what's going on with the next woman? And usually you're met with crickets, you're met with half-truths, or a bunch of avoidance. And the more you try to talk to her about it, the more it seems to just drive her further and further away. And so in this video, we're going to talk about how you can turn the situation around, not only super fast, but if you can't turn it around, you will become so powerful, so undeniable that you will regret ever wanting to leave you. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. The process of being with a woman for 50 years or a woman that you're dating is pretty much the same. For us, it's just science. Because we know the patterns, we know the solutions. It's not that complicated. You have to make a commitment for yourself. That's what it means to be in Soul Seducer program. That's what it means to work with me directly. So that you can learn to handle your emotions, so you can learn to see right into a woman's soul and seduce her from within, to create this garden that she can actually thrive in. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. Your woman tells you that she doesn't want to be with you. She decides that she wants to walk away. Or maybe she called you a narcissist. Maybe she's highly manipulative. Maybe she cheated on you. There's a part of you that wants to tell her to go fuck herself. There's a part of you that just wants to kick her to the curb and just say, see ya, I don't ever want to see you again. Then there's another part of you that just says, I just want my love back. I just want my woman back. She's my best friend. She's my world. I just want her back. And these two things collide. And so what I do know, that either situation, you want her to regret it. You want her to regret ever leaving you, not in a way where it's controlling or you wish her harm, but you want to do it in a way that she just feels envious of who she lost. You want her to kick herself for leaving. And then for a certain number of you guys, you want her to come back. It's like, yeah, you did regret it. That's right. I want to see some begging. I want to see some crawling. I want to see you show me how much pain you're in, that I got so much awesomer than I was before. And then on the other side of that, you want her to come back, crawling, begging to have you back, just so you can tell her to go fuck herself. You want her like, yeah, I'm going to put you through as much pain as I went through. And this is the game. This is where guys sit at. And they're like, I don't know which one to take. And so the first step is we have to cut her off completely. And we're not doing this as a game to try to get her back later. No, we're doing this as a self-preservation tool. Because if you half walk away, you half commit to it, she's going to see right through it. See, guys always think that they can hide shit from their women. And maybe you can. Maybe you can hide some shit from your woman, but it's better to just assume she knows your emotional state all the time. This way you can come forth unapologetically and with transparency. But if you're a strong guy who exposes himself emotionally and he's able to take his licks on being exposed emotionally, then she's got nothing on him. She can't manipulate him, she can't push him, she can't shame or guilt him. And so the first thing you have to do is the self-preservation game of just cut her off completely, because what ends up happening is most women don't just leave the relationship. They stay half in and half out. They use you as this safety net while they go after and pursue their new life or their new identity or their new lover or whatever it happens to be while she's confused. And make no mistake, she is not confused. She is never confused. She knows exactly what she wants to do. She's just afraid of making the step. And so what she'll do is she'll just keep one foot in the pond, which is your pond, and then she'll put her other foot wherever she wants to go, which is another guy or a new identity or a new friends group or whatever else. And oftentimes it's the new identity, because make no mistake, if your woman wants to leave you, she thinks she can do better than you. And so you're going to find that she will leave you in the areas of life where she's starting to look at her mortality and the loss of her beauty. Maybe she had her third kid and she's like, oh no, is this all I'm going to have? Maybe she's in her 30s, she's like, shit. This is the last chance I have to start a new family. Or maybe she's approaching 40 and she's like, I got to find another guy before my beauty fades. And so you run yourself into the situation where she wants out. And the game is if you play that game with her and play half in and half out, then you end up playing into her hand. And it robs you of all your power and all of your agency to move forward. Because what a guy cannot stand is being in this place of, I'm not really sure where we're going right now. Everything's in her hands. So you cut her off completely. This means no check-ins, no text messages, no reaching out, no likes on Facebook, no checking her out on Instagram. No, cut her off completely. You are moving forward with your life. You are not lamenting the past. The thing is that you fall into despair and sadness and anxiety because you're trying to control something you cannot control, which is her and her state and what she decides she wants to do. But what you can do is control yourself. What you can do is control where you want to go. What you can do is control your future. And so we want to be future focused, not worrying about what she's doing. The guys are always like, well, I got to find out what she's doing because I have to figure out what I got to do and how I'm going to react to her. And like, how do I respond to this text message? What do I say to her? And I'm like, you're just being manipulative. Why are you trying to worry about all the things that she's doing and trying to elicit a response from her? This is just showing you all the codependent behavior you had before, where you're trying to counter-manipulate her by being this extra nice guy to elicit favors and sex and validation. And then she leveraged that against you to get whatever she wants, because you're playing this game of codependency, which is, as long as you let me do whatever I want, I won't leave you. And you're like, well, no, that's not fair. Like, you can't just do whatever you want, but, well, I guess you can, because I'm not going to leave you. So, yeah, I guess you can do whatever you want. And then you find yourself in this place. You start chasing after her, even though she's having an affair. She's like, yep, see, I can do whatever I want. I just upped the ante. How much more can you take? How much more can I do and you'll still chase me? And so we have to cut this off completely. We have to cut you chasing her off completely. And this means no contact. Leave her alone. Stop Facebook stalking her. Stop driving by her house. Stop checking up on her. Stop asking the kids what she's doing. Leave her alone. Focus on your future. Anytime you put your mind in this place where you're trying to figure out what's going on with her, you're doing the wrong thing. You've got to be future focused. The second thing is she needs to feel your absence. She's used to it and accustomed to pulling gifts, favor, time, and attention from you. When she's feeling low, you're there to support her. Whenever anything is going wrong, you're there to pick up the pieces. And you have to, if she doesn't want to be your wife anymore, you have to stop acting like the husband who's there and supportive of her all the time. And this goes contrary to what you're going to hear counselors and stuff say, who are going to say, just be patient with her, just give her what she needs, she just needs time, she needs to talk about it. No, all that is just falling into her victim frame. They get the counselor into the victim frame, and then from this place, like, well, she needs this understanding. She's already made up her mind. She already knows what she wants. The problem is, and the reason she's confused is she's still trying to reconcile how she can do this without looking like a bad guy. And not only looking like a bad guy to others, but to herself. She doesn't want to look like a bad guy to herself, so she has to reconstruct and rewrite her history with you to make it sound like this is the only choice for her. She's already made up her mind, and this is why you get these mixed signals. This is why it drags on forever. This is why it doesn't work out in your favor. And you let her sit in this place, and it completely wrecks your psychology, drives your anxiety through the roof, and the kids and everybody else. And so because she's unhappy, she decides to just blow up everybody's fucking life because she's unhappy or she's confused or whatever it happens to be, even at the expense of your children. And so when you allow this to happen, you are not being the hero of the situation. You are being complicit in enabling the bullshit behavior. And so don't participate. And when you stop participating, she'll feel the absence. In other words, she's going to call you. She's going to want to talk. Don't talk to her. She's going to want to have these conversations with you that don't mean anything. Don't have the conversations. If she wants to have a dialogue with you about the relationship, that's fine, but she needs to hear your side of the story. If she's not interested in hearing what you have to say, then it's not a dialogue. It's just her venting to you about how sad she is, about how she's uncertain and what she's doing and all this other stuff. And so you have to hold the line of what you want and be the hero of the situation. Most guys don't know how to do that because they're still wrapped up in needing their wife back. They need their wife back so much that everything that they do is pull, 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 pull. So whenever she reaches out to him, he doesn't know how to let her feel the absence. He's like, how do we talk about the relationship? I can't help myself. I have no emotional self-control. Most guys have no emotional self-control in these situations, which is the first thing we teach guys in Soul Seducer. That's the first thing you learn. Module 1, you're learning emotional self-control, because I know that if you can't control yourself emotionally, nothing's going to work. If you keep chasing after her for validation, nothing is going to work. She'll say, oh, maybe he's changed a little bit. She'll be hot towards you. And then you'll go right back to your old behavior. She's like, oh, nope, I was wrong. And she's repulsed, and then she disappears. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? 1 minute she's all over me. Now she wants out of here as fast as possible. Yeah, because you didn't actually change. You went right back to how you were. We have to change you completely. We have to transform you from the guy that's weak and approval seeking to this guy who is absolutely badass and fully in his power. When your absence is there, she will feel it, and she'll want to pull on you. She'll want to elicit that back. She'll play the game of rope-a-dope. Let me see if I can give him a little bit of time and attention, a little bit of love, give him a couple table scraps. Let's see if I can reel him back in. Let's see if I can get him hooked on hopium again. And then you're like all hooked on her again. You're like, oh, I was away from, now I'm back in this place where I'm chasing after her again. It's like, yeah, dude, because you couldn't break this codependency cycle. You couldn't break it. You're still playing this game of, yeah, I'll do it. She can do whatever she wants. As long as she'll come back to me, I'll feel better about myself. And that's really the game. It's just you just want to feel better about yourself. You only need her in your life to feel better about yourself. And so you have to give her this absence. And we're not doing it as a manipulation tactic. You're doing it, as I said before, you're moving forward with your life. This is where I'm going. If she doesn't want to be with me, that's totally cool. I'm going to honor that, but I'm moving forward. Not only am I moving forward, I'm going to find somebody better. I'm going to live a better life. I'm going to absolutely fucking dominate this game of life. I'm going to have it all in my life. I'm going to create an amazing business. I'm going to get fit as fuck in my body. I'm going to have a hot-ass new woman who's better than my ex. And my kids are going to see as an example from me as their father how to have amazing relationships, not this ridiculous narcissistic, manipulative bullshit that we were in, this toxic dynamic. That I don't want my kids internalizing that and recreating that in their own situations, in their own families. So I'm going to go be the example. I'm going to go be the hero. This is what I did with my life. This is why I'm in front of the camera talking to you, because this is what I did for myself. And so this game of transformation is not new to me. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this with the clients that I've had. Thousands and thousands upon clients have been in this training room, been in my programs on the other side of this camera and in person, going through this exact transformation. And we know that it goes really quickly. There's going to be a point in time where she's going to want back into your life. She's going to want to insinuate herself into your life without actually making any appreciable changes. And you will never let her do that. If she comes back into your life, she wants to be back to be a part of you, the game's different. The rules have changed. Now you have the leverage. When you go in and she feels your absence, she feels that you're moving on faster, and the thing that burns her ass more than anything is when you move on faster than she does. She doesn't want to feel like she walked away from a good thing. See, all women are looking to try to get the best guy they can get. It's called hypergamy. And when they go and they say, hey, I think I can do better than you, and I'm going to go find myself, which really means I'm going to go find another guy. I'm going to go find myself and find my new identity. I'm going to create a new family with a new guy, and I'm trying to erase you from my kid's history. And this is what she'll try to do. And when she sees that you actually rose up and you found somebody better and you moved on faster than she did, she's like, fuck, I ruined this. You see, women are always trying to play blackjack. Can I hit 21? Can I hit 21? Can I hit 21? And she saw you maybe as a 20, and then you decayed down to a 17. She's like, I think I can hit it again. I think I can hit it again. Get another one. Let me get a better guy. And then what ends up happening is you demonstrate that, no, you were 21 all along, and now she goes and busts, hits 24, and she's like, fuck, what am I going to do now? Now she regrets it. Now she regrets ever screwing this thing up. And now she'll come crawling back. She'll come to you and start pinging you up. Hey, what are you up to? We should have dinner sometime. We should catch up. And so have these little innocuous comments. But in her mind, she's like, I need to see if I made the right choice leaving him. Because I see that he's doing some big shit over there, and I might want to get him back. This is why she tries to keep you on the hook the whole time. She doesn't want to let you go in case you decide to rise up. But ironically, the thing that you need to do is cut that so that you can rise up, so that she can feel the difference of you leaving. She can feel your absence. And this absence and this FOMO, this fear of missing out, is going to drive her to want to come to be with you. And the process is always the same. Guys are like, I don't want to break up my marriage. I want it to reconcile. Well, she still needs to feel it. Maybe don't legally do it, but she still needs to feel it. Most women do not file for divorce. I mean, they will file for divorce eventually, but they will keep you in this limbo state for years before they actually do it. And they usually only do the divorce whenever she gets another guy. She gets another guy, then she'll file for divorce. Why? Because she's still playing this game of rope-a-dope with you. Let me just keep you as a backup plan. Let me just keep you on the back burner and give you table scraps of love and affection. If I have to, I might sleep with you every 3 months just to keep you engaged, just to keep you caught up in hope so that you don't date other women. Because if you're an approval-seeking guy and you need approval from women, the worst thing that you can do is sleep with another woman in her eyes. Because if you sleep with another woman, she sees that your approval mechanisms now get lashed onto this new woman, and now you are no longer a safety net for her. You are no longer her resource cow. And so she knows that if you get attached to another woman, you're going to go codependency on her, and then now you are an unreliable source of revenue, of being a babysitter, of time and attention, of, hey, it's been a couple months, I'm horny, I just need a guy that I'm comfortable with having sex with, and then she'll do that. And so you don't want to be this guy who is just this good enough guy. No guy wants to be the good enough guy. No guy wants to be the backup plan. And the worst place to be is the husband that is not her first choice. You do not want to be that guy. You will never get the love, attention, desire from her that you really want. And so when she decides she wants to come back because you've decided to dominate your life, and they always do. They always do. If you go out there and start dominating, she will always want you back. And when you start doing that, and now she wants to come back, now you get to set some rules. Now you have some leverage. And I can tell you, women will change for a man if he's worth changing for. If you're her first choice and she knows she's not going to get anybody better, yeah, she'll change. She'll make improvements. But if you don't hold the line and you don't hold her accountable, she will not. And she will hold back as much as possible. Why? Because that's how people are. People don't want to change. They don't want to change for them. I mean, they can't change for themselves. Why are they going to change for you? Everybody wants to be lazy and get away with just the minimal effort possible, myself included. We all do it. Our brain, our ego, is a mechanism of energy stinginess. It's trying to minimize energy consumption. And so we minimize energy consumption by not changing, by being exactly who we are, by being exactly how we've been. The problem is that you never grow, and your life becomes gray and uninteresting, and nothing gets exciting, and nothing is fun anymore. And so when you get caught up in this place with her, so when she decides she wants to come back, you don't let her in. Do not let her in. You're going to be like, oh, good, open arms, baby, come on back in. No, there are now rules. When you come back into my life, things are going to be different. I don't want to go back to that old relationship. That relationship is dead. That shit sucked. That relationship had to die. But if you want to create a new relationship, cool. Well, you get to be in the pool of the women that I'm dating, and we'll see if you measure up how you measure up against the rest of them. You're like, well, Ed, how can you do that? She's the mother of your children. Yes, she is. But at the same time, I'm looking for a lover. I've already got the mother of my children. If she wants to be in my life, she needs to be a lover and a partner, and somebody who can roll with me at a high level. And it's not because I'm an asshole or a hard ass. It's just because I cannot tolerate this kind of bullshit in my life. I'm trying to do too much stuff in this world. I'm trying to help too many people. I need somebody who's a support. I need somebody who's self-accountable. I need a grown-ass woman, not an immature 13-year-old who has a temper tantrum, those toxic fits of manipulation, guilt, and shame because she can't handle her own emotional state. She should go see a psychiatrist, go get her shit figured out, and then maybe, if I haven't found somebody else who's awesome, in that time frame, I might consider her. But she's already got a couple of points down because I know she's going to keep reverting back to that state whenever she's in a low point in her life. We have a child, or we have to move, or maybe her mom dies or something. She's going to go back in that low state, and then I'm going to have to be the one to psychologically help her pivot. That's the gift that I give as the husband, is I get to be there and hear her and understand her and help her pivot and create this garden for her to really thrive in. And I love doing it. Most guys would do this. Most guys will create a situation where their life can absolutely fucking thrive. I will pay for things. I will give you the house. I'll give you anything you want. You want the children too? Yeah, let's fucking go. It'll be amazing. But she has to honor that. She has to honor that gift. And it is an amazing gift that men can give women. But if she comes in expecting this and she demands all this stuff, this is a gift. These are my gifts that I get to choose to give. They are not guaranteed to you, and you cannot demand them of me. I get to create this. And from this place, if you honor this, if you're devoted to me, if you love the shit out of me, and you show me appreciation all the time, and you desire me intently, then of course, I'll give. I'll give everything. Why the fuck not? Let's fucking go. Let's go create some awesome shit. Let's go create this spiritual journey together and absolutely dominate in life. And so if you're not in that space where you're not going to hold the line, then you get what you get. You see, the women in your life are a reflection of your unconscious thinking. And so if she's treating you terribly, this is how you think of yourself. You don't value yourself. If you do not demand that a woman rise with you, then you probably aren't rising yourself because you can't demand that of yourself. And so she's just always going to be a reflection of how you're thinking unconsciously. Because if you're conscious about it, well, then I would imagine you would change it. So brother, if you want to learn how to do this, you want to transform from being this weak-ass dude who's constantly guilted, shamed, manipulated, and you want to absolutely be a fucking soul seducer, you want to be this guy who can create a garden, who can have and dominate the game of dating, become this guy that women absolutely would love to be with because you bring a shit ton to the table and you value yourself too. You want to be the kind of guy that women hold themselves accountable for? You want to be the kind of guy that women fight over? You want to be the kind of guy that women would not even dare try to fuck with the relationship with because they value it so much? You want to be the kind of guy who your wife looks at you and says, I feel like I won the lottery with you. And she tells you every single week, man, I love this life. I cannot believe you provided this for me. I love this. I love everything about it. Do you want that? That's what Soul Seducer will create for you. You will create it for yourself. And that's what the training is all about. That's why I created it, because I have that kind of life. I live that every day. After I'm done with this video, I'm going to go home. I'm going to hang out with my wife and my 1-year-old. My boys are over in school right now. But that's what I'll do. I created that shit through blood, sweat, and tears. But the thing is, you don't have to. You don't have to create it through blood, sweat, and tears. You have a training in front of you. I didn't have a training. It took me years to figure this shit out. But you can do it in months. In fact, I know you can do it in months because I did it in 6. And I didn't have the training. I just figured some shit out. So, brother, if you want to learn how to be a soul seducer, link is in the description below. If you like this video, hit like. Do me a solid, hit a like so that other guys will see this video. And if you want to see more, obviously hit subscribe. And I love you, brother, and I'll see you in the next one.